Episode 1, The Girl Who Trusted Too Much. What's the secret to a good stew? The meat, the cut, or the seasoning? The tastiest recipes aren't always made with ingredients that should be in the pot. Today, you will learn about a case so cruel it seems like a horror movie. Except it's real. Welcome to Based on Real Events. It all began in Russia. A 16-year-old girl named Karina Bardukin was full of dreams and rebellion. She met Maxim, a 19-year-old boy who sang in a small band. His dark emo style caught her attention, and for Karina, it became an obsession. Friendship quickly turned into something more. Karina fell deeply in love, but not everyone approved. Her mother looked at Maxim with suspicion. She said he was strange, dangerous, not the kind of boy her daughter should be with. Arguments grew inside their home. Every day ended with yelling, tears, and slammed doors. But Karina, blinded by passion, kept running back to him. On January 9th, 2019, Karina told her mother she was going to a friend's house to work on a school project. She lied. Her true destination was Maxim's apartment. When she entered the door, another person was waiting inside. Yuri, a 20-year-old florist and butcher. Another young man with the same dark appearance as Maxim. Karina didn't yet know, but this encounter would be her last. Continues in part 02. The bathroom was hot. Steam rose in thick curtains, enveloping Karina in an almost suffocating cloud. She struggled, her arms slicing through the water trying to break free. The floor was slippery. Every movement was watched with absolute coldness. Maxim and Yuri approached slowly, without hurry. No panic, no hesitation. Only the certainty that the night would end monstrously. The silence was broken only by water splashes, Karina's gasps, and the occasional creak of the old floor. Karina felt the weight pressing down. She was only 16. She laughed nervously, trying to find humor in the midst of terror. But laughter didn't save her. There was no escape. The warm water mixed with pure adrenaline. Each scream was muffled. Each strike was inevitable. In the next room, the tenant heard the sounds of violence. Every detail reached her ears. The shock of the struggle, the metallic sound of knives, muffled grunts. She wanted to intervene, scream, run. But something paralyzed her. Disbelief. Her mind could not accept that Karina was about to be eliminated. Maxim, with empty eyes and a cold tone, began to cut. There was no rush, only precision. Each movement deliberate, almost clinical. Yuri assisted silently, observing every reaction, every sigh. Time seemed suspended. Each second lasted an eternity. Karina fought, but her strength quickly faded. The smell began to change. First, the iron of blood mixed with hot water. Then, a stronger metallic aroma, unmistakable, filling the bathroom. Karina tried one last scream, but it failed. Reality twisted around her, and the world seemed to collapse inside that small apartment. Hours later, horror took another form. Maxim and Yuri cooked parts of the body, pots, potatoes, spices. They mixed meat and vegetables as if it were just another ordinary dinner. The tenant, unaware, walked down the hall. She smelled something strange but could not imagine what was happening inside. The next day, Maxim and Yuri invited some people for a small party. Among laughs and low music, they served the main dish, meat with potatoes. Some tasted it, unsuspecting. The tenant entered and received her plate. She ate, oblivious to the monstrosity behind every bite. The truth was right in front of her, and still, no one could conceive that Karina Bardukin was on that plate. Continues in part 03. The city of Khabarovsk woke that January morning in 2019 with the silent sense that something terrible had happened. Karina didn't come home. Her mother, Elena Bardukin, felt the premonition every parent fears. Her daughter's silence wasn't just absence. It was a suffocated scream no one could hear. The police arrived quickly. Investigators examined Maxim's apartment, narrow hallways and dark rooms, the persistent smell of iron and spices lingering in the air. The tenant was questioned. She recounted every detail she had heard, the nervous laughter, the whispers about killing Karina, the sound of water, the clinking of knives. She thought it was a joke, until she realized the prolonged silence weighed more than any laughter could ever relieve. Meanwhile, the trail of evidence grew. Photos, messages, Karina's entry into the building recorded by nearby cameras. Everything pointed to Maxim and Yuri as the perpetrators. There was no doubt. When confronted by detectives, Maxim and Yuri displayed a disturbing calm. No remorse, only cold, precise explanations.
We were starving, we were drinking, and she was delicious.
The courtroom was silent. Jurors absorbed every word, every detail of the horror. On March 2019, the sentence was announced, 19 years in prison each. 9 years later, Maxim ended his own life inside his cell. My time in this body is over. I must be reborn as another person. A note was found next to his body. Karina believed she was meeting her love. But that cold night in Russia turned into a nightmare with no return. Karina thought it would be just a dinner with friends, but it ended up being the meal. The Karina Bardukin case isn't just about murder or cannibalism. It's about trust, obsession, and the darkness that can hide behind a young face, a seductive smile. As snow fell over Khabarovsk, the city would never forget that winter of 2019, when a dinner became synonymous with terror. This is the story of Karina Bardukin, the girl who met her tragic end at a lunch with potatoes. If you enjoyed this descent into true horror, leave a comment with the next real case you want to see here. Based on real events.